Kathleen.
And I'm Sean.
And you're listening to the Dead Baby Bear podcast.
Dead Baby Bear.
Ooh.
Long story.
So that's called Coca Cola. Are we on?
Yeah.
That's called Coca Cola. That's called Coca Cola Starlight. I don't understand what it is about. I should Google it.
You know, there's like some people that are like mic drop people. I think I should go around just picking up mics that people dropped. Looks like you dropped this.
Okay, Dad. That's a dad joke, Sean.
Is it dad?
Oh my God, yes.
Really?
That's very dad.
Okay.
But you're a dad, so you can tell us.
I am a dad. Father of two.
Yeah, that you know of.
Boom.
He's only had sex twice.
Coca-Cola Starlight.
I've only had sex
is a
twice.
limited edition.
Jim just threw some shade at
Oh
me.
my God! How dare Jim?
Non-dad joke.
We
I like how it's dad
and we have
joke,
to take
then
it
if
because
you,
we
like,
don't pay him.
have children.
That's the best part. We have to take it because we don't pay him.
I love that it's like, you know, that's the thing that sucks about somebody saying dad jokes is it's like as long as you don't have children, all your jokes are great.
No,
You're like, nobody can accuse you of they'd be like, no, that's
me.
you fucking weirdo.
Can you open my thing for me because I got
Yeah.
nails done today.
You got your nails did.
Nails.
Oh
did.
wow, they're like Monster Energy green.
Yeah, I love it. I wanted bright
Green apple or pepper.
or pepper. Okay, this is Coca-Cola Starlight. It was introduced in 2022. It's a product, and I just don't understand what it is though. Like, try it. I tried it. I don't like it.
Space inspired.
Coca-Cola has taken a small step for mankind, introducing a new beverage, Coca-Cola Starlight, whose flavor is as mysterious as the cosmos. So it's just gross. Like, who knows what it is? It's mysterious.
It's
According to Eater, astronomers discovered a dust cloud in the Milky Way made up of ethyl formate, the same chemical that gives raspberry their flavor. It also smells of rum. Try it.
Well, let's look at the ingredient as I do always.
Always look at the ingredients.
Always look at the ingredients.
Carrots are in this.
In
I saw
case
that.
DuPont tried to throw some cancer-causing molecular shit in here. Carbonated water. Check. That's what I would have thought.
Yeah.
As the first ingredient.
Yeah.
Let's go water with all liquids. Sugar/glucose, fructose.
Those are bad things, right?
Which is glucose. So glucose, fructose is like the same thing, but sugar. That's a weird combo. Sugar, glucose, fructose. They're just throwing it all together.
Yeah.
That's just one ingredient. You know, sweet, death.
Sweet death.
Yeah. Okay. Then we have concentrate of carrot. Here's where it gets Here's where it gets spacey.
Yeah. Carrots.
Here's where it tends to leave Earth. Concentrate of carrot and black currant for color. Natural flavor, phosphoric acid. I've always wondered about phosphoric acid.
What does it? Maybe that's what gives it the bubbles.
I just wonder about it. Whenever I see it in there, I'm like, acid. And then I drink it. So that's got phosphoric acid, caramel color, and caffeine, of course.
What if this is like Slurm from Futurama and it's really just like alien
Is it good?
shit?
Did you try
I
it?
don't like it, but I've heard people. I tried it, but I don't like it. You can try it.
What was the type of cola that other people hated that you liked? What's your guilty beverage?
My guilty beverage.
What's your guilty beverage,
I like
McGee?
Diet Dr Pepper, but that's not. I don't feel guilty about it.
There's got to be something you shouldn't be drinking that uses drinking.
Really?
Come on, there's got to be some drink where you're like, yeah, I drink a lot of that, but I don't like to talk about
Red Bull. I drink a lot of Red Bull and energy drinks. I should. Well, tell me what you think.
it. It's garbage.
Yeah, it tastes like garbage water.
It's garbage. It's fucking garbage.
Take a bigger drink.
It's garbage.
I don't understand how you get space out of that.
It's garbage. Like, I mean, that's what the fuck.
Jim,
that
you can
is
try it if you don't
terrible.
COVID's over. You can drink from the same bottle.
Wait a second. I don't know if he can handle all this phosphoric acid.
He's a young boy. He's a young growing boy.
Concentrate of carrot and black currant for color. Like, what the? Who tinkered around with this? And then
Coca-Cola.
said, you know what? We're not selling enough Coca-Cola. What can we do?
Let's get Coca-Cola from space. Let Jim try it.
Try it.
Let Jim try it.
He needs to know.
I've tried it and I don't like it.
I don't like the pre-flavor, meaning smell. I don't like the in my.
I don't like the smell either.
Yeah.
I can't place that taste.
And the aftertaste is gross.
Yes.
The aftertaste is good. It almost tastes like vanilla.
Tastes sweet, like
Yeah.
fruity and vanilla-y and like, yeah, I don't like it.
It says something about raspberry.
The marketing is ridiculous because
Yeah.
it should be.
So dumb.
Yeah.
It should be like veggie cola or something.
Vegan Coke.
Vegetable cola.
They should have.
Root cola.
If they
Like
came
this
out,
couldn't be farther from space. It's all root based.
if they came out with vegan
Like
cola,
carrots.
I'd be like, what the fuck is in cola? Like
What
beef blood? Is it beef blood?
What's more of the earth than carrots?
Yeah, that's
What's
very.
more of
That's
the
not
earth?
a space
it's a
vegetable.
root vegetable,
Yeah.
and it's like we're going out, we're gonna blast off, but we're taking it 6 feet under first,
Like
and we're grabbing some carrots while we're there.
somebody was super high. They
Why?
had a retreat, and somebody got super high, and they're like, "Let's make space pop," and they did. That's what happened.
It's so fucking
That's what happened.
stupid.
It doesn't. I don't like it, but I thought you guys had to also experience how gross it is.
I feel like it's what happens when a CEO gets cancer or something.
He's
and
like,
then
"I want to make space pop."
that space pop thing I've always talked about, and then everybody's like, he's dying. What
Do you
are we?
remember? Do you
What are we
remember?
supposed to do? Not make space cola?
That's the CEO.
He's got brain cancer. He's
That's
got
what
3
happened
months left.
to the CEO of Orbitz. Do you remember Orbitz?
No.
That drink that had like floating globs in it.
Mhm.
You don't. You. It was out like when we were kids,
A lot
like
of
in the '90s.
you don't know. A lot of people don't know this, but when you see a product come out of nowhere and you're like, "That's terrible. What's the story behind that?"
Yeah.
A lot of times it is somebody in their 50s with cancer who's like
Let's
always
try.
pitch this
Yeah.
idea, but pre they having cancer, people were like, "Sorry, Ricky, it looks like it just doesn't have any juice." Orbits.
Don't you remember Orbitz?
I do remember Orbits now. Now
Yeah.
that you speak of it, what
And
the
like
fuck?
it felt. I mean,
Orbitz.
everyone's like, "It feels like cum." I'm like, what cum are you drinking that is like chunky like that? That's.
that white people bubble tea?
That is white man bubble tea. That's
Yeah.
what I was gonna say.
But it's not as good. But it
It's
looks.
white bubble
It
tea.
looks like a bunch of bugs.
I remember seeing that and being like,
it was gross.
I tried it. I remember trying it. And I was a fat kid. I loved everything. I did not like
you wanna-
Orbits.
Hey, you want to drink this? It's a semen globe. You're
have
like,
have
oh,
a semen,
great.
a hot lava lamp, or have
Yeah.
have a semen
Little
lava
balls.
lamp.
If you close your eyes, it just feels like semen.
That's what people say about bubble tea and stuff. I'm like, what cum are? It's always guys too. I'm like,
Always, guys.
what cum are you drinking that's like plop 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 plop? Like you have a problem if your cum is so chunky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're probably an alcoholic. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
is
And
that-
you're like, oh my god, I'm out of booze. What can I do?
Chunky cum, you have to be an alcoholic.
Well, you just be like, I guess I'll have to drink my own semen to get drunk because I've already pissed the booze out. But I have read
I was gonna say, what about your piss?
that alcohol stays inside of your testicles for 2 days.
But Sean would never ever drink semen because he'd rather eat shit. That's something
why do you
we've
keep
known.
Why do you keep bringing this up?
Because it's something we've learned about you.
That's a fucking crawlback, is what that
It is a crawlback.
No, well, I mean, first of all, you know what? I don't know. I mean, one of them requires a fork and knife, but
Yeah.
I get to pick. You know what I mean? I feel like with semen, I don't get to pick. It's like,
Yeah.
maybe it's like shit. Okay, like is gross, but nobody's ever gonna be like, oh, here, there might be more shit than usual this time.
Yeah.
And then shove way more shit than normal in your mouth. I need to have like a certain amount. So I have a set amount of shit is better than like, who knows, right
I
out
would
of the
never
tap.
eat shit. No,
Semen
even
right
if
out
it
of the
was
hose. No way.
Life or death, I wouldn't eat shit. No way. No fucking way.
Of course you would.
No.
Death, you know how bad death is? Everything's gone.
Better than eating shit.
Come on.
you die being someone who never ate shit.
That's
yeah.
true.
I'm not
Jim
gonna
said
die
you
doing
die.
something that you love, Sean.
Follow your dreams.
What would if you died doing what you love? What
Mhm.
would you be doing?
I'd be Googling, am I having a heart attack? No. That's probably how I go out.
But I mean, like, if doing what you love, like, if you were doing something you love, like, I would probably be cuddling my dogs.
Oh, boy. You and your
Or
little-
riding a horse or something fun.
I guess I'd be like,
Riding a horse?
I don't know. I like riding horses. I like riding horses. It's fun.
yeah, I guess like playing hockey or skiing or doing something
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, like I guess so. But then you're dying doing, you don't want to die doing the thing you love because then right before you die, you're like, I fucking hate this.
And then you die
You know.
hating it.
Yeah, you die hating it.
And then everybody doesn't know. Everyone's like, oh, he died
Nobody's
doing
like,
what he loved.
oh, he loved being out here. Not at the end, actually. That
actually
last
hated it.
15 minutes, fuck did he hate skiing.
It was terrifying for
He
him.
really hated skiing
As
that
he
last
bled-
10.
As he bled out from a broken neck. Like,
Yeah, he hit that tree and spun like a helicopter's blades. And then
Oh
he
my
landed
God.
and died slowly. Boy, did he love skiing. Like, no, I hated those slopes,
I
man.
hated him. No.
Spinning around. No. What would you, so you'd be hugging dogs?
Yeah, I'd probably be surrounded by goats and puppies and playing, and then they attack me or something.
Right at the end.
Yeah, right at the end. But
Right
I'd still
near the
love
end.
them even when they were killing me, probably, because I'm crazy like that.
Dogs. Yeah, we went to the zoo too, and they had some wolves.
The Calgary Zoo?
Yeah, Calgary Zoo.
Nice.
Which
And
is
how were the
always
wolves?
good. They're always just checking that perimeter. They want to get the fuck out of there. Yeah, it's usually the gorillas give up, right? So you have the smartest animals would be like
I guess I live
wolves,
here now.
tigers, gorillas.
Yeah, gorillas
right?
are like, I live here now.
And wolves and tigers are a little dumber than us.
Yeah.
So they're like, they're always looking for a hole in the fence.
I
Like,
think gorillas are pretty smart.
that's what I mean. They're a little smarter.
Oh.
So like wolves and tigers never give up. They have a hope-filled life that somebody's going to cut a hole in the fence.
And they're going to get out.
And they're going to get out. They're just going around the perimeter, like, get me the fuck
Yeah.
out of here. One day something's going to happen and I'll be able to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So that's how they live their lives. Gorillas tried that for a year. And then they
like, we
started
live
just,
here.
okay.
Let's put a pool over
All
there.
right.
let's,
All right.
let's get a new couch. I guess we're staying.
I'm sitting in the hammock. All right. I'll sit in the fucking hammock. And then after your first little fucking like we see them in a hammock and we're like,
Yeah.
look at them in that hammock. Because we associate hammocks
With
with like
gorillas?
festivities and
Yeah.
vacations and relaxing and reading a book. In gorilla world, a hammock is that is chains.
Yes.
That is a straitjacket. You know, like they're not enjoying themselves on a hammock.
No.
They're in prison.
I want to know what these animals
For no
think.
crime.
Just having people sitting there and watching them. Like, what are they thinking? Like,
They're
look at
just
this
like,
animal's
why am
watching us.
I-
As he's watching us, right? Well, she's not right now, but she was watching us, and it was kind of cute because she was watching. She's like, "What are these dumb humans doing every week?"
Yeah, well, I guess they think like this is it, right?
Yeah.
Those humans probably walk out that door. I don't know if they know what freedom is. Like they think that we get to like look at them on their cage.
Yeah.
Like they don't think like if you could pull a gorilla out of the zoo and show him around,
Yeah.
he'd be like, "What the fuck? Are you fucking kidding
There's
me?"
cars.
I thought it was I
Yeah.
thought it was my cage, your cage.
Especially if they were born in captivity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Like
Ez was homeless.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
She's
most of
seen
these
it.
gorillas now, they haven't seen fucking
Anything.
This is it.
But you know what? To be honest with you, if like aliens came and said we're putting humans in zoos, would you rather eat shit or live in a zoo? I would live in a zoo for sure.
Oh boy, here we go with this.
I would live in a zoo, but look how awesome! Like this is the thing. We went to the prisoner museum or the prison museum in Kingston, across from the penitentiary there, when I was there doing shows once, and they have like a cell that all the prisoners live in, and it's like a nice bed. It's got a TV in it, and I was like sitting there thinking like, maybe I could kill someone that I really, really don't like because jail doesn't seem so bad.
Especially women's jail.
I feel that
don't
too.
know.
I feel like there's a lot of bonding. I feel like you discover yourself in women's jail. Men aren't
I
going to
don't
discover
know.
them.
I don't think
A lot
so.
of hair braiding,
No.
a lot of eating out.
No. I'd rather have a guy who like occasionally rapes me than like a woman that I hate. You know?
Yeah.
Like just to think about the worst thing a person can be is a woman you hate.
Yes.
That's the worst thing a human can be to
That
you.
is true because
Is a woman you hate.
you
Because a
can't do
man you
anything.
hate is just like easily avoidable.
Yeah.
You can be like, oh, there's Rick, and get the fuck out of Rick's way. He doesn't care. But
Because
a
we
woman,
know who hates us, so we go up to the people like, "Hi, I know you hate
Yeah.
me." Blah.
yeah, blah blah blah, just talking and like knowing stuff about your family or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so your mom's still in, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
These gossipy women.
she's on Facebook. She's looking at, because they have nothing else to do.
No,
Like,
they have
if you
nothing.
hate a woman, then they hate you.
Yes. And if you hate a woman, we will go and look at all the social media of that woman.
Because there's plenty of
some dumb
women. There's
reason.
plenty of women who hate me, and I don't hate them because they do a pretty good job of like,
Keeping it quiet.
yeah, they're like, hi, even though they hate me. But-
Women are better at faking it than men, I think.
But if they really hate you, then you'll know.
Oh yeah.
And then you're like, oh, this
There's
bitch.
men that I hate, and I know they know because I just like this is what I do when I don't like somebody. I pretend they don't exist. So if they're in a room, I literally don't look at them. I don't talk to them. Like, you don't exist right now. You are not here for me. Like that's all I do. And I don't know if that's worse or better than. But I'm just like, that's all I do is I just pretend they don't exist. There's only about 4 people in this world that I do that to.
Yeah.
But they know who they are.
And And they all
I
have
hope.
the same last name.
Yeah.
No. Do they have yeah, I think you should only have 3 people that you hate.
Yeah.
And then it's on you. You got to fix, like you get 3 people to hate.
Yeah.
If you hate more than 3 people, then that's on you a little bit.
Then you are an angry person.
Then you got to start trimming your hate.
You got to trim your hate.
You got to trim your hate tree.
Yeah.
Before it gets too close to your power lines.
But I think it's good to just pretend that person doesn't exist. I think that's good. I think that's a good way.
That's the only way to handle it.
Because there's like, I'm not going to like, or even when someone, because a few of them are comics. Like, if someone's like, oh, do you know this person? This is a trick I learned from, I can't remember who it was, but somebody was at the comic strip and they're like, oh, do you know this comic? And they were like, never heard of him, because that would be crushing to that comic. So that's what I do now. Oh, do you know this person? I'm like, no, I've never heard of them. I don't know who they are. I've never heard of them. I'm such a cunty bitch, but you know what?
And I've been here a long time.
I own it.
Yeah, especially from somebody like you, because then it would be like, if it came from me, it'd be like, oh, they must run in different circles.
Well, there's a lot of like Ontario I don't know anymore, but I mean, like, yeah, no, I also love that when I was on Tinder in Vancouver, and guys would have pictures. There was this one show where the booker's wife would come and do a photo of you.
The booker's wife. That sounds like our sitcom. We should make a fucking TV show called The Booker's Wife. Because think about how many fucking unsolicited emails that bitch gets, and how many more flowers she gets than any other female. Chocolates, flowers, like all these like broke comedians buying pot of golds for Wendy.
Pot of gold.
Merry Christmas. I hope you and your wonderful husband
have a wonderful day.
Have a great Valentine's.
But it was so anyway, she took pictures. And it's a very distinct background. So every comic in Vancouver, anybody that did 5 minutes on that show had a picture of them. And it was always my favorite because I'd be going through Tinder and I'd see a guy in front of that holding a mic. And I would always match with them, and I would try to hope that they. No, listen, this is because I'm like, this is hilarious. I have no idea who this person is, and I was very active in Vancouver when I was like there. Like I was out at all the mics and stuff, so I would like try to match. If they did match, I'd be like, oh my god, are you a comedian? And then they'd be like, yeah, kind of, sort of, like I do it. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Oh, you're so cool. I'm like, I can't believe I met a comedian. Such a bitch, but it was so.
You would do that?
Yes, because fuck you.
That's nice.
And then eventually I would be like, well, no, I'm a comedian. I've never seen you before. I would like, I wouldn't keep it going forever, but
we should meet at your home club.
Yeah. Where are you headlining this weekend?
Take it to. I'd love to come to your next show.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But you know what? There's like,
and then you force him to like call the black dog, or like he has to fucking call the comic strip and be like,
"Oh my
May
god,
I speak to your management, sir."
I want to do a reality show about this. I want to do a reality about finding people that are faking something like online,
and then expose them and force them to do it.
Kind of like catfish, but like, oh yeah, kind of like catfish, but like it's not. You're not being catfish.
It's really the story. To be honest with you, it's the story of my life.
Yeah.
Because when do I work? The first time after I lied about having already completed it.
Yeah.
That's when I work. Did you do that already?
Yes.
Yeah.
Me too.
And then I'm like, well, that's gotta fucking happen. That has to happen fast.
That has to happen now.
That has to happen right now.
That would be fun to do that because like that's the thing.
Or even comedy. I think I was like, yeah, I did comedy or something. I think I told somebody I did it, and then I was like, now I have to.
Yeah.
I told somebody I did it. And then they started telling other people, he already did it. Like, oh boy, here we go. Here comes the lynching.
Anybody I was doing comedy. I didn't tell any. I told one of my friends, because she would come to open mics with me at first, and then after like the 5th one, she's like, these comics are gross. I'm not coming back.
Except for me.
Except for that one guy, Sean. He's such a babe.
Except for that
Who's
one
that guy, Sean? He's so handsome.
That guy,
Who's
Sean?
that Adonis, Sean?
Wow. He has the best skin.
There's not a word for it yet, but I bet he's like,
yeah, I bet he's like, yeah, he must be non-binary.
Oh, Sean. He's Sean Binary.
Sean Binary. That's
No.
cool. You should just do that. That's what I am. If you can't handle it, fuck you.
Fuck you. I'm Sean Binary, pal.
Fuck you. I'm Sean Binary.
Well, maybe that could be. I would be a robot called that on the show. So there'd be
Yeah.
the Booker's wife, and then there's Sean Binary, and he's a robot butler.
We should do like an 80s sitcom again. Like, you know, Punky Brewster and like Little Small Wonder. Do you remember Small Wonder?
Yeah.
Where the little girl was the robot? That would be fun. Like with
That
Mr. Belvedere involved.
There's always got to be a robot.
There
You
has
always
to be
need like a
robot.
non-human who's like, but I have human characteristics. You know, one of those robots.
Yeah.
Where they're like very robotic, but then once in a while they're like, I don't think you should smoke drugs in the house. And then like a tiny spark on her shoulder, like, bzzz,
Oh
like,
my God, that would be so fun, and have like a lesson at the end of every show, like they used to always have in sitcoms. There would always be a lesson.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
and then
man.
it's just your dad sits you down and is like, son, always blame the Russians. The Russians did everything. Like, we broke the robot. The Russians broke the robot. That's what all your mother can know.
I wish we had ambition and could actually write this.
We don't have any ambition or talent.
No ambition
or
or talent.
skill.
You're right. We'd probably make a really bad movie.
Oh,
we
yeah.
watched a really bad.
We've watched quite possibly the worst.
Can we say it?
What was it? What was it called? Sure
A
Shot.
Very Sureshot
A
Christmas.
Very Sureshot Christmas.
So,
So like what a lot of people don't.
if you want to find it, it's on Tubi. All of them are there, but
What a lot of people don't know about like filmmaking in Canada.
yeah, it's all about
Of course,
grants.
is all about like access to grants, and
Yeah.
so it's always about who is the guy or the girl who knows the most about the process
Yeah.
of filling out the paperwork, and you know, sort of just making sure that all of that is in place, and then who can afford to front the money
Yeah.
and then get the money after.
Yeah.
So it's like, and if you make yourself everything, you make more money. So if you're writer, director, producer, editor, if you're fucking
It's all
everything,
yours.
then you check all those boxes with your name next to it.
Yeah.
You get maximum cash.
Yeah.
So you could make a Ricky Gervais movie about a guy who all he cares about is the grants.
Yeah.
And that's what this movie is, Sure Shot. It's like there's one guy who's like, I need to keep my expenses fucking minimal
So I make
so that I make the most money in 8 months.
Yeah.
So that means there's going to be certain people I don't pay.
Yeah.
That means I'm going to. But the thing that's so fascinating about it is you can go into towns and say, we're making a movie.
Yeah.
And towns are like, you're making a
Yes.
movie.
Can we give you everything for free?
a movie?
Yeah, it's
so
true.
they like
Extras
rink
for free.
access, hospital access, city hall
Yeah.
access, like all free. Extras, you need food.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go around to the town, anybody, the Subway sandwich, we're making a movie. You're making a film.
Let's donate a
Oh my
supplier.
word. So nobody's like, what does that even mean anymore?
Yeah.
A movie. Like I'm making a movie. Here you go. There's
Yeah.
your like it's so like he gets all this grant money, he
Yeah.
gets all this cash. Everybody else in the movie kind of just wants to make a good movie.
Yeah.
They're just like, I wouldn't mind making a fun
A
I'm
fun,
here to
funny
act.
movie. Well,
But-
because you always think maybe this is FUBAR. I'm sorry, but that's true.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it's FUBAR that we're making.
Yeah, and you're also like, it's a gig, it's a credit, it's
Yeah.
a thing I can put on a like it's
Yeah.
whatever. Like, you know, if I'm a younger comedian, I can be like, hey, here's a picture of me on set, like
Yeah.
eating a pizza pop.
That was donated by Valley View IGA.
Well, they put our pizza pops in a movie. That's how dumb these fucking hicks are.
Oh,
Well, they put our Sobies in a film.
oh
Whoa,
my God.
a motion picture of moving photos.
I wonder if it'll play at our theater.
But the film, so that's the Ricky Gervais movie, is the guy who's just like, cut, I love it. On to the next scene.
Yeah.
I'd like to run that again. There are no take twos
Yeah.
on set.
That's not how
today.
I
Like,
work. That's not how I
Nope,
direct.
we're done. Moving on. And then it's funny too because like the film even has like an outtakes and bloopers section, which is one blooper. One blooper. Why? That's the only thing they did take two of. The only thing that was a take
It's
two,
true.
they fucking threw into their outtakes. Outtakes and bloopers, and you're like, let's click on that tab. And it's one mistake that was made early. One mistake they made early. Kick that into the outtakes and bloopers. And then the premise of the film is that there's just an individual who wants to play in the NHL.
Yeah. Or go to college for hockey or something.
Yeah, he wants to
I'm
go to
still so
play
confused
in
about that.
Minnesota. He wants to play for the Badgers and then play in the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
What ends up happening to him is, first of all, he's playing what looks like rec hockey 2-on-2.
And they have like 3-minute scenes of just hockey playing.
Yeah, And you don't know who has the puck. Who's on what team. So you're watching human beings interact outside of hockey, and you're like, I'm kind of rooting for Jim and Linda because I've only seen Jim and Linda. I don't know any of the other. And then you're like, oh, and then now they're on the ice. And now Jim and Linda are skating. I don't know who they are. Now I don't know who they are. I don't know if Jim or Linda has the puck. I don't know if Linda's passing to Jim. I don't know if Jim scored his first goal.
Oh, my God.
I don't know anything. I just know sometimes pucks go in the net. There's hockey play. Everybody has different uniforms on. The goalies are in their 40s. And it's 2-on-2. It's like literally 2-on-2 hockey against people in completely different age groups. And then one of the players who doesn't even appear to be any better than any of the others on the ice, quite frankly, he's going to the National Hockey League, this guy. Playing rec hockey in Millet. 3-on-3 rec. He's playing Millet rec hockey 3-on-3.
Like
with
double A.
with two fat goalies. And they're not. They go down on the ice and they have trouble getting up and stuff. And I don't know if he scored. I don't know how many goals he scored.
We don't even know.
But he's now, guess what? Drafted. He got drafted to the Minnesota Badgers.
But his girlfriend didn't.
Right.
Who
So
she also is playing.
she's good.
She's just as good. But
actually better than him.
Yeah.
A lot of people say.
And this is just one of the storylines of a very confusing movie. Santa Claus ends up in it, and some people know right away it's Santa, but some people don't.
To some people, it's a secret that he's Santa.
Yeah.
That he doesn't want them to know.
Yeah.
That's the trope. So he threw in like all these old, just the hackiest trash.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas like, Santa's in it, but his name's Rick.
Yeah.
But he has a white beard and he's jolly and some are suspicious.
And we're dressing him in only red and white.
The children think they know, but the adults, they seem to know better.
Yeah.
So, like, it's the old, one of the oldest fucking Christmas tricks in the book.
Yeah.
And he still blew it. He blew it.
He did.
He used all these old tricks, and he fucking blew through all the stop signs.
It was...
Which is like, one guy knew he was Santa.
Yeah.
Like, be like, yep, I'm Santa, and I got you that present when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're Santa? And he's like, ho, ho, ho. And then the next fucking scene, another character's like, are you Santa? And he's like, I've been around for a couple years. Like, oh,
and it was worse than Titanic 2. It was. But Titanic 2 was on a different caliber of bad movie. And I'm not saying, and I don't know if they listen. If anybody was in it, don't feel bad. Like, I would have probably done it too if they asked me. Yeah. Like, it's just people doing an opportunity. But, like, you had nothing to, like, that script made no sense.
Oh, my God.
But it just made me realize, like, maybe I could write a movie.
Sure you could.
Maybe I could actually write a movie because, like, watching that, I was just like, well, I wouldn't do that or that. And
well, that's what you would, if you just threw all the shit you wanted to in a blender, like, and just got a computer to write. It's basically like a computer written film.
They've done that before. They've had computers write a stand-up set.
That's what this feels like. Yeah. It's a film that was just written by
a computer.
Like an algorithm.
It does.
Because there's a 14-year-old looking at a 14-year-old at school in 2020.
And they're always going for hot beverages. Yeah,
and so you'd have a 14-year-old kid in 2020 looking at another 14-year-old and going like, hey, I'm not trying to bust your chops.
Yeah, they're talking like 50-year-old men.
I'm not trying to bust your chops.
Do you think that's better though than him trying to be current in his lingo? Like if he had,
but that's
hey,
what
this is fire, kids.
That's what I love about it.
Yeah,
because it's like he can't even get a guy to punch it up. He doesn't even want to give somebody $60 to punch it up.
No, it's all him.
All that money goes to me. He doesn't even want to pay a 16-year-old girl $50.
And we're not even throwing shade at the director's way because he figured it out. Like,
he figured out a system of like, how do I make $80,000 a year or whatever? Making a piece of shit. Yeah. It's like being, it's the arts equivalent of being like, a tradesperson who only works shutdowns.
Yeah.
Or a farmer. Where like you're super busy for 3 months of the year. And there's a lot of shooting. There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of locations. There's a lot of like, there's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy about it is like making a movie that bad took a lot of work.
It did.
It took a lot of work to make a movie that fucking bad. Like people had to show up early. People had to set up lights and sound and fucking makeup. There were makeup people. Not too many lights.
There was a lot of just flick the switch on and film.
I mean, that's a lot of work. There was a lot of fucking a lot of work. just
exactly.
Ozark music. You're just like, is this Ozark? Is this the last 10 minutes of Ozark?
Is Santa laundering
They're like,
money?
no, it's a French guy looking for Santa. And you're like, is he going to kill him? Or what the fuck happened to this movie for for 4 minutes? It was just like, woo.
It was for 4 minutes, the full hour and a
The
half.
whole
It
thing
was
made
woo.
no sense. And then it ended out of nowhere.
Yes, it just
There
ended.
was a tournament, and then the championship
won.
game ended in a tie.
Yeah.
No overtime.
No.
A tie. 2-2.
End of the tournament.
And you're like, oh, wow. Was that? And we thought it was a pre-tournament game.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, they're going to kick off this tournament soon. Nope. Championship game, apparently, out of nowhere.
The whole time.
I didn't see a bracket.
No.
There was no scene where there was like a like
Yeah,
the
like a
Sweet
bracket
16 on the
montage.
wall where
Yeah.
it's like, oh, looks like Belleville might end up playing Cincinnati. There was none of that. It was just nothing. It was just, and they didn't even, the dressing room scenes were like, they didn't even show the players.
Yeah.
They did not want to kick in $200 to bring children in for a day.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't have brought children in for a fucking day.
Yeah.
Like, it was just adults. Look, like, it was just, come on, skate, kids.
Yeah.
And then we don't get to see the kids. It's
No.
just the coaches. Like, and there were like 5 coaches on each bench.
It was
5
weird.
coaches.
And we were high, and it was still hard to watch. Like, usually when you're high, even
it made no
horrible movies
sense.
are great. But, yeah, that was a crazy.
I mean, I hate going down a road where you're like making fun of a movie nobody's seen.
No, but maybe people will now watch it, and maybe they'll be like, holy shit, why are we having so many people watch our movie all of a sudden? Because you know what? That's how like cult movies are created. Like,
Absolutely.
The Room in LA is like a horrible, horrible movie, but it got this crazy cult following, and now
Yeah.
like it's blown. They've
and
made money off
it's
of it.
one of those It's one of those movies that could be like a cult movie.
Yeah.
Because it as a narrative, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
So little happens, but there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Like if you watched it and then you watched it and then you watched it, you could sit down for an hour and
talk
talk
about
about all the fucking weird
Well, and
inconsistencies.
the craziest part is the people that were acting in it. When you're acting a movie, you don't know what it's going to look like until you sit down in a theater and watch it with your friends and family.
Yeah.
So all these people probably were at a premiere with their family, and everyone's like, what is
well, and like I would say like I'm not a bad actor, but I'm a real bad actor if I have to say, Randolph, pass me the raspberry pudding. Like every line was a train wreck.
Yeah.
So even if you were like trying, like, okay, I'm an actor, I'm like,
Didn't you say like you couldn't even pay Meryl Streep to actually act in that? Like, I mean, well, even Meryl Streep.
it would look really.
It would still look bad.
Obviously, if you're a gifted actor, you
But it
can
would
make
still
anything
look
work.
bad.
But you'd look bad.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, zippity McFly. We're going. Every line made no sense.
Yeah.
So it didn't flow.
No.
So as an actor, there was no like you say something, I say something, and
Yeah.
then there was one scene where it was literally like the camera going, like, remember that scene?
Oh yeah,
Where, like, there was
because they
two
didn't want to do 2 different filmings. Like, because when you film a movie, you film that reaction, and then you film a double reaction. But they just were like, let's have them far enough apart that we can just turn the camera.
But
and it wasn't a steady cam.
no, but I mean, if you're gonna do like a one camera conversation,
Yeah.
have the characters close enough to each other
Yeah.
that they're in the same frame.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do is like they're in the same frame when they're talking. They had them like out of frame, so the camera had to be on one, and then the other guy started talking, and then the camera would zip over to the other person,
was
and then
so funny.
zip over to, and I was like, is this happening?
Yes.
There's one camera zipping
back and forth.
back and forth between 2 characters, and I'm like, it's kind of cool, I guess. Like it's but
not
it's like
cool
it
at
wasn't
all.
an artist.
It wasn't an artistic choice. No, it was a financial budget choice.
If it was like the Farley brothers, or like, then you'd be like,
Yeah.
you'd be like, okay, this is kind of cool. or
Finding the
whatever.
symbolism in that movie isn't, like he didn't put a lot of hidden symbols in this movie.
No, it was a Canadian bot movie
Yes.
where it's like maple syrup, hockey,
Yeah.
Santa, snow,
Yeah.
French, bingo, meat grind that
Put it all
motherfucking premise.
together and let it
People are drinking.
cook it into a movie sausage.
Yeah. So they got rid of the Russian angle, which was good.
Thank God. That
They
would
got rid of the Russian angle because it was like, slap shot. I think before it was
Yeah.
like slap shot.
because you
Soviet,
were in a
whatever.
Sure Shot movie. If people want to
I
find
was.
it, what is it called?
Sure Shot Dombrowski 2.
2.
The Revenge of the Siths.
Or did you play Jar Jar Binks?
I'm not trying to bust your charps. No, I don't know what it was. Sure Shot 2.
Sure Shot 2.
I was in numero 2.
Numero 2.
Yeah, pretty proud of it too.
That's pretty exciting. I think I'm gonna try and find that soon and watch it.
There's a bunch of them.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, no, there's quite a little. There's 7, I think, isn't there? Something like that.
Something like that. I mean, it gets people working.
It gets people working. Yeah, you sound like the guy who half owns a Home Depot.
Yeah.
Gets them working. Like, we're not paying him much. Gets them out of the house.
Exactly.
Gets these ladies out of the house.
Did you? This is a week old, but I still want to talk about it with you. Did you watch the Oscars? Did you watch Will Smith?
Oh,
slap him?
yeah.
Were you watching it live when it happened?
No, I didn't see it live.
I did, and it was
Twitter.
like, I literally was like, because I never get to see stuff live. I've always seen it on Twitter, and we were watching it. I was watching it at my friend's house, and it happened, and I was just like, I got the same sinking feeling. This is awful, but when I saw 9/11, that feeling happened. When I saw something, and I tweeted that. I thought it was funny.
Chris Rock slapped himself.
There's
Let the conspiracy.
Yeah. Oh, we should start some conspiracy. They're probably a million already,
Chris
but
Rock had dynamite inside his mouth.
yeah. I think that it was. I think that was just like it was crazy. It's crazy what people have said about it. Like, don't take his fucking Oscar away. Like, get over that. Like,
Yeah,
but it was like shocking. Like, you don't expect to see that on the Oscars. It's just like the show that it is, and yeah, you just don't expect to see that.
Well-
and it's two people that could potentially have been joking. Like, they're both like known to do crazy.
That's
stunts.
what Chris Rock thought was happening.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell that Chris Rock thought, like, this
I
is
guarantee
a bit
you Will Smith
the
was
Prince
walking
of
up to him.
Bel-Air, like, because he always makes that face.
Yeah, he was smiling.
Well-
I bet you he was smiling walking up to him. I guarantee. That's
No, he
what
was, yeah.
sociopaths do.
Yeah.
They
A little
smile up
and, like,
as they
he
walk
thought
up to you,
he
and then
thir-
bam.
Like, I wonder what this bit is.
Yeah,
Because it wasn't about anything that you'd think,
yeah.
like female baldness
No.
or what. And but the funny thing for me is, like, I saw it on Twitter, but it was like some foreign policy expert that I follow on Twitter
Yeah.
that was like, no way that just happened
Yeah.
or something. And I thought it was like a nuclear.
Oh, I know
thought
something
it was-
real.
I thought it was like a tactical nuke
Yeah.
that Russia had.
Oh no.
And
no.
I was like,
it was just
oh
Hollywood.
no, it's worse. It's Will Smith punched or like just slapped,
Slapped him.
gave him a little smack in the face, I guess.
A little. The funniest, like, well, it's not. I don't know if it's funny or not, but you just watch Chris Rock in the background afterwards. The whole time he's like, "What the fuck just happened?" And good for him because you could see he wanted to say something horrible, and he just went, "No, I'm just gonna keep." Like, that was. I don't know what you do.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing is, like most male actions, whenever you can say it was for a girl, you do, but it never is.
Yeah.
So, like, in Will Smith's case, how tired would he be of the narrative that, like, other guys fuck your wife, you're like this cuck
Yeah.
piece of shit.
And that's he could have
Sitting
done a
around,
cuck joke instead of a G.I. Jane joke, and that would have been
Yeah.
way worse.
Yeah.
She would have laughed so hard too, probably.
And she would have
Probably.
loved a cuck joke.
Yeah.
Probably. She'd have been like, yeah, I do fuck other guys.
I also don't know how people like think that he was like directly trying to make fun of alopecia. He was not making fun. He was just
Oh,
the way
God.
she looked that
Yeah.
night. And in my opinion, she should have laughed because she could have gotten a film franchise out of it. Imagine they see it like, hey, let's make Jada actually the new G.I. Jane. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. It's so
It would have,
stupid.
yeah. I mean, it would have been a fucking, yeah. It's like basically she just maybe potentially threw $12 million.
She did.
in the trash
More than 12.
because she would have probably made $12 million US to be the next
G.I.
G.I.
Jane,
Jane. It would have
yeah.
fit perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah, she's an actress, but like I don't know. She doesn't. I haven't
She's
seen her
known
too much.
mostly for fucking a lot of guys that aren't her husband.
Terrible.
Well, no, I'm not even saying. I'm saying like she, the jokes, even though the jokes are about Will Smith, they're still kind of like about her. Like,
Yeah.
she's fucking guys, and it's like, you're put in this box of like, you're fucking people.
Yeah.
That's
Slut-
weird.
They're slut shaming her.
Yeah, but they're doing it through Will Smith. But Will Smith has to so he's had 5 years of all this shit coming at him about being like a cuck.
Yeah.
And you're the guy who, like, your wife is fucking other guys and you don't do anything about it or
Yeah.
whatever. You're like, oh, I don't know, that's interesting.
fine.
Let's talk about
It's
it on
my
a
son's
podcast.
friend.
Yeah.
Why don't you describe everything you did on a podcast, and I'll just sit there being like, okay, great.
That's fun.
Yeah, I
Ugh.
feel like I
So
feel
yeah,
like I feel
that's
ba-
where it was. That's where it came from.
Oh yeah.
That was the energy. Was
Or
like,
they had a fight in the limo on the way there, being like, "You never stick up for me," blah blah blah. And then the one
Could've
time
been
that
that.
he has to stick up for her, he's like, "I gotta stick up for her."
yeah, at the Oscars when I'm about to win Best Actor.
Yeah, that was pretty nutty.
Yeah, because that's that's what ties it in a bow is that he didn't win like best choreography in a hockey film
No,
or
he
whatever. It
won
wasn't
Best
like day one. He didn't win an award on the afternoon before.
Yeah.
Like it was the second or second or third biggest award.
Yeah.
Of like best picture, best actor, best actress.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
Those are
totally.
so he won one of the big three and just like, hey everybody,
Sorry about that.
sorry about everything there, and there's so many plates spinning in that
Yeah.
moment where
Oh
like
God.
not only is he a celebrity, but he's like a black man, so it's like
Yeah.
we can't like maybe if it was like Al Pacino or something, we would have been like get the
People
fuck
wouldn't
out
have
of
been
here.
talking about it as much. People are saying that online a lot. That if it was a white guy,
It's a
no
bunch
one
of
would be
white
still
people that
talking
are
about
like
it,
I'm.
but
It's a whole bunch of white people that are like I'm
Yeah.
not going to tell a black person what to do. Like
Yeah, yeah,
period.
yeah.
Like so and it's so it was Will Smith plus that.
yeah,
And how do you even tell Will Smith anything? What the
You
fuck do you
don't.
say to Will Smith?
yeah.
I wouldn't know what the fuck to say.
He
Hey, get out of
clearly-
here!
And he
Like,
clearly is having some mental that's like he broke. Like that's not a normal mental thing to walk up.
Like laughing and they're so
Yeah,
they're
it was
crying in the
it was
corner.
maniacal.
Yeah.
So happy.
It was like
Yeah.
I was like it's like the Tom Cruise jumping on the couch moment. Like I think he's like
that, yeah.
it's going. I think there's so many different rumors about poor Will Smith. Like I do feel bad for him because, but then it was like, well, you are like a very rich couple because. But I do feel like I feel bad about all these rumors and stuff that they have to deal with. But it's also like you are a celebrity. This is the life you chose. Like I don't think
Plus,
people.
they don't take it easy on themselves.
No, they spit it out.
podcast,
Yeah,
they're
they
like,
blurt it out all over the place. Like, what do you think's
you
gonna
al-
happen?
literally asking for
Yeah.
that attention.
yeah.
So it was just
And you
weird.
know where you're sitting too. Like you're in, at the Oscars.
Yeah.
You kind of know where you're sitting.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're like, oh, we're right there.
Oh yeah.
Like we're right in.
And the way it's all set up now, it's not like just
Yeah.
theater seats. It's like everyone had their own little dome and like it was. Oh, that was so weird. But
yeah, you kind of know where you're sitting. So like, if you really don't want anybody to say anything or whatever,
Yeah.
like those celebrities, they can make shit happen.
Yeah.
They can be like, hey, we don't really like. We know what kind of being right up front means.
But don't
like,
talk
there's gonna
about
be
us.
There's obviously a couple bits about us.
yeah,
So they want to have the best lighting and the best sort of like reaction shots or
yeah,
whatever. So when you're seated right up front, there will be bits about you,
yeah,
and you are seated in that area specifically so that you're in the best
Yeah.
lighting possible in that room. That's why you're there. So they already know that.
Yeah.
And then what do you think the joke's going to be? Like it's Chris Rock, so it's going to be like kind of more Disney than Gervais.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be like probably something, But he did. He tried.
yeah.
Like he tried to make the bit like PG.
Yes,
It's like here's the PG bit. She's bald
yeah,
or whatever, and not she's bald. She
No.
could be in G.I. Jane,
yeah,
which is just short hair. Like Demi Moore
Demi
just.
Moore was like a massive
yeah.
at that time.
And
I
she had
got
a- and
it's
she had a
kind of
brush cut.
everyone. Oh, he's attacking her for having alopecia. I'm like, what the fuck, people? People read too much into shit. Like
Somebody
way
said
too
something
much.
online that was like, "Oh, they attacked something that was an illness that caused a physical difference."
Oh, and
and
people with
it's like,
people with
what the
alopecia are saying
fuck?
like it's not that. It's
Well-
not painful or anything. Like people with alopecia are like relax.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? Like, oh, he belittled someone who had a physical difference that it was noticeable. Like, yeah, what do you think?
Yeah,
that's
it was
fucking
like
just about
all of-
every joke that you've ever heard.
It was
at-
just like a not very good joke that she rolled her eyes at, and then he saw that, and he's like, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna get an earful."
After laughing.
Yeah.
I know he laughed, but like that's the thing is he saw like that woman has him controlled. That woman is controlling that man.
and you like to see it.
I do. It's kind of nice. As a feminist, it's nice. But so then everyone was asking everybody what they felt, and Amy Schumer was talking about it, showing that it's toxic masculinity. No, I know that stuff, but like, so I should never ever when it's an Amy Schumer tweet look at the comments because it just pisses me off because it's a bunch of like anime avatars being like that fat bitch isn't funny, blah blah blah, and it's so annoying. And so I went to one and I like this is hilarious. I don't even know what's happening right now, but like This one guy said, Amy Schumer could be given the funniest joke of all time and somewhat make it the most unfunniest shit ever. I would attend one of her events just to bring rocks and throw them at her. And then it was like 20 tweets about, let's throw rocks at Amy Schumer. Let's throw rocks at Amy Schumer. So I'm like, I shouldn't have said anything, but I said, is this the toxic masculinity that she's talking about? These tweets and replies are proving her point. It's amazing that you don't see that. Brace for tweets about how I'm fat, ugly, and unfunny. And then some faceless person on Twitter should have braced for this ratio. And I'm like, we can ratio you again if you like. I'm like, what's a ratio? Like, what is a ratio? So then I'm like, wait a second. So we're, he's like, we can ratio you again if you're like, yeah, sure. I'm not sure what that does. But if that's what it gets you going, ratio me, daddy. Am I supposed to be upset about this? Because I love attention. Like, I don't even, so now I have all of these like anime nerds. There's like not one face. Maybe one has a face that liked it, but I guess it means that they come in and like something instead of, I'm like,
and it's
if there's more comments.
yeah, but am I supposed to be upset by this? Because that's what always my Twitter is. My Twitter's always ratio.
And isn't that like, it's almost sort of like, I guess, it's the reason why Twitter is Twitter, but it's like, I wonder how excited Zuckerberg was the day he realized, like, oh, they're gonna have like a bunch of like fake, like you can just have any profile, you can just, this is great for Facebook.
Yeah,
because we still are that legacy.
Some people still don't have a Facebook face, like though, like they put a weird.
Oh yeah, you can definitely have like sort of, but
your name
you can't,
is there.
Yeah, you can't really do too much with Facebook. You can't fuck around too much. Like if people are fucking with you, usually it's their name, where they live, their whatever. It's their shit. So, but Twitter is like, am I engaged? I don't even know if I'm engaging with a human being right now. Like why? There's no need for me to get upset because I don't even know if this is a person.
Well, and the guy that tweeted
that might not even be a person.
Where is it? I don't even. The guy that tweeted the initial tweet is like got 160,000 followers. He's a Marvel enthusiast. Sub to the YouTube, and like it's just like it looks like he's just like a
sub to the YouTube.
It looks like he's just like a computer nerd or something. I don't know, but I'm like, I just like the people. I'm like, I'm supposed to be sad about this? Like, are you hurting my feelings? Like, what are you trying to do? Am I supposed to be crying? And I said, don't you boys have some anime to jerk off to? Like, I just don't get it. Like, I'm like, I know it's like 12-year-old boys that I'm talking to. Like, it has to be. Like, if that is an adult man, that's the saddest thing I've ever seen.
And it's probably the first thing that you learn as a celebrity is like,
ignore that.
You can't read your comments or whatever.
No, you
like,
can't. But I just think it's so funny because it's like as soon as Amy Schumer's name comes up, it's just a constant, like, I don't know how she does it. It's just a constant thing of mediocre to sub-level men talking about how shitty she is. I mean, she wins because she's rich and she's got a great life. And they are not, and they're losers. But it's just still like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why are you putting energy towards something you don't like? I don't understand that. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, and they have like a very specific brand of what they constitute as like great comedy. Yeah. And it doesn't fit what they consider to be great comedy. So they're like, it's garbage. It's like, it's not garbage. It's just not, it was not written for you.
It was not
written for you in mind.
Yeah, at all.
Amy Schumer does not write jokes for
the
people
anime
that would sort of like love Rogan or whatever. Like that's not, and there's overlap. Of course, she's funny to a lot, but like, like she's not great. Like, yeah, you love Bill Burr and Stanhope, and they're great, but they do comedy a different way.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me at all to like put so much like energy into hating somebody you don't know. It's just so, and then they're all ratioing me, and I'm like, I don't understand what this means. Like, I'm a 40-year-old woman. Am I supposed to go and kill myself over this?
Like, if you're a celebrity, what you get out of that is like you don't read the comments. Yeah. You post some random shit, and then the adrenaline hit is like 2 hours later. You look at your phone, and there's like, 20,000 retweets and like fucking 50,000 likes, and you're like, look at this. Like, look at what I can do. Yeah. I can fucking I can write a sentence.
Oh,
I can write like
go crazy.
chicken sweater, send, and then fucking whoop, 20,000 retweets, and you're like, look at what I can do. Just write random shit. Yeah. And people are just flock to it.
Maybe that's why all this celebrity stuff is crazy. Maybe celebrities are going nuts because it is a weird, like it is this. They're probably constantly chasing that feeling of being paid attention to, and it's so hard to get attention these days because everybody's trying to get attention.
Well, and Will Smith, like, it's like, what do you do to break the Ukraine-Russia fever? You got to smack Chris Rock in the face, dude. Like, I'm doing it.
Let's stop talking about something that's important and talk about Will Smith. But it was crazy. I will say that was crazy. That was a crazy.
Yeah, I just saw it like in and I was like, Chris Rock is just, and then immediately conspiracies, right? Immediately, like, because probably 15 seconds, like that's the kind of show where, like, maybe they let it sort of build for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Where it's like, holy shit, Will Smith just and everybody is like, whoa, and then there's a reveal. Like, he sits down and he's like, I love you, just like.
But when he sat down and screamed very angrily, then everyone was like, this is not a joke. This is not a joke.
Yeah.
This is not he's pissed off.
Keep my wife's name out of your mouth.
Your fucking mouth.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And
crazy.
it sucks too if you're like, Venus and Serena. You're like, oh, my dad was portrayed in a film by Will Smith.
Well, and they kept cutting to them during his speech, but then they would flash it was so weird, that whole thing.
Because the whole thing was planned to be like a bunch of cameras on Venus and Serena, and then it's like, wait a minute, like, imagine how many things you have to change on the fly, because it's a TV show.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Chris, you're going to say some stuff to the people in the front row. We have them planted here. You're going to go, around the horn. And then, when Will Smith does his thing, it's going to be on Will. It's going to be on Jada. It's going to be on Venus and Serena. And then he slaps Chris Rock in the face. And they're like, maybe a couple less Venus.
Which one do we put it on?
Put it on Serena for a second.
Yeah.
Serena now and off of Serena.
Well, they probably were like, what is going to happen? Like, they probably had their hand on the censor button so high.
Yeah.
But but then they had a good joke about for Venus and Serena. It was for them. It was good. Amy Schumer's at the beginning. I think I'm probably going to fuck it up, but it was like, it was a good year for women. We finally got a movie about Venus and Serena's dad. The two greatest female athletes of all time. And it was about his dad. So that was a pretty good joke. But
yeah.
And nobody,
that is good.
Nobody slapped Amy Schumer.
And that shows you sort of the power of, like, a guy like Will Smith.
Yeah.
He's the guy that can drive a movie like that.
Yeah.
Where he's pushing. Maybe he has that script or he has that idea.
But I think he really damaged his career with that.
Oh, for sure.
Like, that's
sad. It wasn't quite Mel Gibson anti-Semitic cab rant or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. If he slapped a Jew, maybe it'd have been different.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the fact that he, I don't know if he gets the same movies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And Louis C.K. won a Grammy last night, so you can't slap a man in the face, but you can jerk off in front of a woman and be celebrated still.
Yeah, I guess they decided.
That's so funny that, like, and I was like thinking that because, like, like Shanti won a Juno, and I'm like, all you gotta do is be a sexual predator. That's how you get your awards.
Yeah, well, and it doesn't matter what you're talking about. Somebody's in charge somewhere. So you're like, all these decisions that make no sense. You're like, oh, the guy who's in charge is right of center. That's all.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
In 2022, that's where we live. It's like, how could the Grammys? Well, whoever's in charge, there's always one fucking person who, like, is in charge.
Yeah.
And they are conservative.
Yeah.
And so they're like, no, I'm not cutting Louis out of contention because of that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And then it's over. Because once he's in, then you kind of have to give it to him.
Yeah.
Because he is better than everybody else.
Yeah, I'm sure. I haven't even heard of it. I'm sure it is a good album, but it's kind of funny though that, like, you won an award. Like, I'm like, it's just gonna, like, make a bunch of people pissed off.
Yeah. But he's over that.
And
I'm sure that,
like, but if I was him, I'd be like, I don't even care. Like, I guess maybe winning a Grammy is exciting. I don't.
He had to get over it, right? He probably spent a year being like, oh my God, all this criticism after, like, being kind of universally beloved.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
For however long he was famous, he was universally loved, men and women. He wasn't like a comedian that guys liked and girls were like, what? Or girls liked and guys were like, he's dumb. It was like everybody was like, that guy is the fucking best.
Yeah.
And then so he had like 15 years of that.
Yeah. And
then all of a sudden it's like 30% still love you, but they don't really say anything. And then 70, there's like 30 that sort of like don't give a shit. And then there's 40 that fucking hate you.
Yeah. And
now you're like, oh, I'm hated. I'm a target.
I don't think he would have lost his career if social media wasn't a thing, because like people wouldn't be talking about it every day, but people still talk about it every time I see his name come up. You see just hate to it's just like looking at Amy Schumer tweets, sort of, you know. It's like there's always going to be about 20 feminists that are pissed off that he's still alive.
Yeah, and to me it's like this is the problem with the system as it currently is like we still don't have a sentencing system. Is like so everybody is still going like, oh, you think cancel culture is real? What about Louis? He's back, and it's like, okay,
not really.
but we're gonna do. Are we gonna do this in a year?
Yeah.
Are we gonna do this 2 years from now? Like, how many years does he have to serve?
Yeah.
Before we remember that for what it was, instead of like throwing him in like just a pit of assault.
The court of public opinion is not very. It's not. There's not a lot of precedent out there, so nobody.
No, yeah, he is kind of
consistent.
Like, he is kind of patient zero, where it's like,
yeah,
what is he gonna do? This person that we're still in, like, you know.
Yeah, because he's not a Harvey Weinstein level of sexual predator. Bill Cosby, he is like a sexual predator, I guess.
And he is like a creator of art that people enjoyed consuming. Harvey Weinstein was just an old fucking loser producer.
Yeah,
he didn't make any of that.
Yeah, he
he
said yes
wasn't
to
an
things.
artist.
Yeah.
He just like greenlit things and had money and had power. But he wasn't a creative. So who gives a shit what happens to him?
Yeah.
And he did terrible things, so fuck him. But Louis, you're like, I wonder what he's going to do next. Sort of, you know? Like, I wonder what he'll do. So I guess in some ways it's sort of like you could say good for him that he's like, yeah, I'm just going to keep doing what I was doing.
Keep my head down and just do it. Yeah, I guess that's all you can do, I guess, if you are
I would probably
canceled.
disappear. Like,
I would disappear
be like,
too.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
You won't see that again.
I feel like he's just like crazy enough to be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna keep going. People are going to hate me, and that's fine.
The kind of drive that he needed to have to get to where he was anyway, is still there.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I've had a year off. I want to start doing that shit again.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you're not going to be able to do it for the same money or with the same people or like have it exposed in the same way. And you're going to be ridiculed and he's like, oh, let's do it anyway.
That's fine.
Let's just go for it.
He's probably just a comedian that likes doing comedy. I was talking about this with Celeste. I was like, I try to quit this, but I like doing it. It's my only thing I'm good at, and I don't care if I'm touring shitty bars forever. I just like doing it. Like, I think that's probably how he feels.
You're also really good at falling down. I've seen you fall down.
Very good at
you're
falling down.
Really good at it.
That's fainting. You saw me faint.
Yeah, but it's still falling. I mean, fainting is still falling.
Do you still have that video?
Don't sell yourself short. No, no.
Oh,
I don't.
Shoot.
I think we
I don't
erased
think I have it anymore.
Yeah, once, like I said, once we realized that it wasn't like really that funny.
It was funny though.
It was funny, but it was like, oh, okay. Like the next day, it didn't seem that funny anymore.
It seemed funny to me. Like, I'm fine with it. Like, I thought it was.
Well, I was
weird,
like, I would if you shared it on social media, then I would have been like, oh, I'll keep it and show some people. But when you didn't share it, I was like, all right.
Well, I was going to, but I wanted to edit it, and I didn't know how to edit it, so.
Yeah.
I was going to.
Stayed there.
Yeah. You should have done a commentary on it.
You could have just released it all long and loose like a Sureshot movie.
No beginning, middle, and end. She just passes out. Hard.
Excuse me, sir. Just the guy that you touch is my favorite part, because you touch a man right before you fall. And his brain is like, hello, like it is fuck time. Yeah, like for most guys,
men's brains are fucked up.
Oh, well, fatter ones. Like when you're like 10 pounds or more overweight, girls don't generally like just touch you like that.
Yeah.
So you're like, she must want to fuck if she's touching my shoulder. You're like, you're that underused part of your brain of like sexuality.
Yeah.
It just fires on all cylinders. Where you're like, that dormant part of your fucking cranium is all of a sudden flares awake. Like, a girl touched me. What the fuck? And then you fall. Right? As soon as it gets half hard, you fall down right in front of him.
Hard.
Nose on a chair.
Oh my God, that was good.
I wonder if she wants to blow me. No, she's falling down way too fast. Her head's going down way too fast for this to be
her head hit the chair.
Blowjob setup. I'm here with my wife, lady. I'm trying to have a beef dip with my girlfriend.
That's so funny. Oh my God, no, I don't pass out as much anymore. I did Drayton Valley for the first time.
Oh boy.
It wasn't awful. It was a rough show, but I kind of like turned it around at the end, and it was fun. I like doing that when you make a crowd finally pay attention to you. Takes a while, but it happens sometimes.
Yeah, it usually goes the other way for me.
Yeah.
Where it starts out okay and then like any good water slide.
You're a water slide.
Yeah, my comedy's like a water slide.
You're
Starts
a
pretty
joke
high up
water
and then
slide.
just kind of slowly serpentines its way to the fucking dirt. Oh well.
And you were in Canmore and you lost all of your identification.
I lost my
And your cell phone.
I lost my everything.
Yeah, Will texted me, what's Sean's address? He was, and I was like, I was asleep. I was in a NyQuil. Like, I took some NyQuil and I was in a coma. So I saw it. And then I didn't even respond back because he's like, no, I figured it out. Like, 3 hours later, I'm like, I don't
fucking
why
care.
Why did he need your address?
What? I didn't give you the address. Why would I care if you solved it? When you asked me the question, I didn't answer it. Now you're like, I solved the riddle. It's like, I didn't fucking care about the riddle.
I didn't even respond. Yeah, he's like, don't worry, I got it. I'm like, I never was worried.
No, phone ID, because I had a phone with a case with a hole in the back, and then it was like bank card
wallet,
ID.
wallet case.
Yeah, wallet case.
Yeah.
So I had all of it.
I've had that before.
Gone.
Wallet cases are dangerous because you think I'm never going to, I always have my phone, I'm never going to lose it.
No, I always
have.
have.
And then you do.
Well, you know what it is for me is like if I have 18 other things I have to do.
Yeah.
As long as it's like phone, don't forget your Coke, don't forget your
Starlight
Coke. Don't forget your keys, your Starlight Coke, or your phone. Like as long as I have that kind of laundry list in my brain, I'm okay. But if it's like we're leaving a hotel room, so it's like don't forget his snow pants. So I'm holding 18 things.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that because even as a childless human leaving by myself, I get confused and leave stuff all the time in hotels. Like if I had kids, I'd be like, there's no way.
It's easy for me because I'm like a born organizer.
I am not.
So like I'm like
organized.
I have more fun doing that than I do like checking TikTok, even though I'm never on TikTok. But like, okay, we're in a hotel. Let's get everything put away. Yeah. Like, I'm going to put away all your clothes here and fucking like.
You put clothes away?
Sean would love to die organizing.
I should.
You unpack your suitcase and put clothes away when you're in a hotel?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Really?
Well, we were there for like 3 days. It was me and my 2 kids.
I still never do that. I've never used the drawer. Never unpacked anything. It's always stays in the suitcase. Yeah, that or bed bugs and stuff. I'm always worried about bed bugs.
Well, when you have like multiple kids, multiple days, then it's sort of like,
I guess
this is going to be a pile of shit.
Yes.
This is either going to be like put away where they're
and
like,
it is usually
where's
a pile
my
of shit
pants?
For me by the end.
Where's my pants? So if a kid is looking for a pair of his pants,
he needs to see it.
He doesn't give a fuck about any other clothing.
Oh, he just rips it.
So he's like pulling, ripping.
Yeah.
I can't find my pants. It's like, oh my God. So you're like, okay,
they're on
everything
your
is put away.
Body.
I'm wearing them. They're on my dick.
Oh, I'm sorry you lost all your stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get it back.
I don't think so either. There's
left it at a hotel.
There's no honest people left anymore.
Sorry. Well, my phone would be kind of worthless, I think.
Why was it like an iPhone 7?
No, it was an iPhone 11, but.
Oh yeah, that's pretty. Do you need a phone?
I have to buy one.
I have like Adam's old phone that you could use now.
Oh, you think I want some of that?
For now, if you want, or just go get a new one.
No. I'll think about it. We'll
go
give it
get
some
a new
thought.
one.
We'll give it some thought. What are you doing tonight? Do you have any shows this week? Anything to promote on the podcast that 8 people fucking listen to?
I'm supposed to go do Polar Park tonight, but I'm so tired. But anyway,
what are you supposed to do tonight?
Polar Park.
Is that a comedy show?
Yeah, it's a good one. You should come.
Yeah, I'll be there.
It's my birthday tomorrow.
Oh.
So I'm gonna go eat steak and cake.
Steak and cake?
Fuck yeah.
Have you ever had cake on steak?
No, I don't think it would be good.
Icing.
Icing on cake.
Some kind of icing, but like HP sauce icing.
Ew. I've
good?
seen meat cakes before. They got like mashed potatoes and like meatloaf.
What do you think? What do you think of that? Just like an HP sauce icing.
And mashed potatoes. Yeah,
maybe HP sauce and then like, Philadelphia cream cheese and shit. Like, yeah, get really thick and creamy with it.
Oh my God. No,
get really fucking thick and creamy with it.
No, I'm going to have steak first, then I'm going to have cake.
Okay. All right, do your steak and cake night.
Yeah, I will.
I have a lot of big shows coming up. We'll talk about those next time.
I have a lot of big shows coming up too.
We'll talk about those when they're in the rear view.
When they're actually done or when they're actually booked.
Yes.
That's my favorite thing to do is send clubs like, hi, I'm currently booking up my summer.
Hi there. I'm currently looking to fill some windows that are smashed open, quite frankly. They've been smashed open. And the police said it was from the inside. So
I did it. It was me.
I did it to myself.
It was me.
Oh, well.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks for being on your own podcast.
Thank
One
you.
round of applause for CHO
Yes.
Pod Network. Round of applause
Northern Queen.
for Northern Queen. Keep it going for your headliner, Kathleen McGee. I've been your host, Sean LaCrombine.
We're so happy.
Give it up for
know,
Jim Kerr.
We did it.
Little guest
and
spot.
Don't give it up for Starlight.
Starlight Coca Cola. Carrot Coke.